We're live and we are bad. How we doing, people? Who's here? Better late than never. That's what Dad always said. Live chat. How's everybody doing? I tried to get up here on my laptop. I figured out it's not my laptop, it's the internet here. So there's some kind of issue with the internet here. So I had to go live on my phone, which needed to charge. So now I'm just sitting here using my phone. So here we go. Hey, GTI Warriors in the chat. Howdy, Chris. How are you, man? Rich, GT350R. How you doing, Rich? Bear Rose Garage in the chat, Brother Bear. Howdy. Two Hacks Garage. Jive Hive Jeffrey in the chat. Howdy, Jeff. UB, how you doing, man? Shell's in the chat. Welcome. Brian M. in the chat. Howdy, Brian. How's everybody doing? How'd the week treat you? Cheryl Alastra in the chat. Howdy, Cheryl. It's Ari DeBernias Lapagan. Yeah, it was kind of a funky day. I went over and did a little bit of work over at Hubie's, and I had to round up some parts. I kind of got distracted doing that, and then spent a little time with the family, and here I am. Right back where you guys left me. Cheryl said, Lapagan Dikita. Yeah, it was a little bit later than usual. I missed Tony's live completely, but I figured I'd pop on just the same and talk to everybody. It's been kind of a semi-eventful week, and I figured it's the least I could do just to come on and answer some questions, speak to everybody, see how everybody's doing. At Zero's in the chat. The At Zero. At Zero just helped me out this week. I went over to his work, and he sold me a clutch and flywheel at a really great wholesale price. Oh, man. Hey, see Roma's in the chat saying, hello, Ari. My week has been good. Hope yours gets better. It's all right, Charlie. It's been improving steadily. Jeff saying, Ari, my brain hurts. Gulf Shores, New Orleans, and Memphis was a tad insane. I bet, man. That sounds gnarly. Landon Custom Classics in the chat. Cousin Mike. How you doing, brother? Nathan's Mopar Garage is saying, hey, Ari, where's the music? Hubie saying it was a hack fest with Uncle Tony. They need some NyQuil. Yeah, you were saying, were they sick again? Tony will get sick sometimes. He does that. 47 in the chat. Howdy, brother. How are you? But yeah, it was definitely an interesting week, and I'm still kind of catching up, really. But I feel all right, moving through it. At Zero, this is a quote from At Zero. He told me a long time ago that I think is an excellent quote, and it is that a gentleman is a man who can play the accordion, but won't. Brian M. Second's brother Hubie. Yeah, I mean, if they're that sick, they're hacking up on the live. That's their dedication to you guys. I hope you know that. Dickie Farley's in the chat. Howdy, Dickie. How are you, man? GTI Warriors saying, Ari, have you considered a logo for your shorts? I seem to miss some because I don't realize it's you. Chris, I never considered it. I probably should kind of move in that direction, start making a little bit of artwork for the channel, a few things like that, just kind of start moving in that direction, definitely, though. A little watermark or something would be cool. Just have like an image of a drone with a circle slash or something. You be saying Zero, it's what brothers do for brothers. He's very modest about saving my ass, guys. He's saying I was at the shop and his boss was off his meds. Sad to say. Yeah, no, he's a little off. He's a little off kilter, and I don't know. It's someone being that aggressive around me isn't really as safe. Dickie Farley saying I'm good, Ari. I'm good. Hope you're doing well also, and even with the cold, Uncle Tony and Kathy saying me happy birthday today. Oh, happy birthday, Dickie. Man, it is the day. It is Dickie Farley's day. If I'm singing happy birthday, I'm singing it like Marilyn Monroe, though. Brian M. saying, keep away from the meds your ex-boss is on. Everybody, it is Dickie Farley's birthday. He is 36 years old. If you guys could wish him a happy birthday, please. Dickie is an incredible gentleman. We've been speaking for a lot of years, and he's been nothing but absolutely kind. And I appreciate you, Dickie. Happy birthday, brother. 36. 36 is a cool age. I mean, I'll be there in 5 years, and I'll be sitting there. I'll probably have like a Shakey's or a Chuck E. Cheese birthday for myself. At Zero saying 36. It's like mostly new. Yeah, I spent the past few days working over at Hubie's, and I've been kind of working a little bit slow just because of the heat and trying to get everything together. All my stuff got jumbled, but Hubie's saying that Ray was trying to get him to move his truck when Ari was trying to forklift the 235 in the back of. Yeah, I got the 235 on a forklift. I got my toolbox and everything in the back of Hubie's Duramax, and this prick comes up and he pulls up and he starts honking, and it's like, man, just you can't park on the street for 5 minutes, you know what I mean? But he starts swerving and stuff, and he finally like parks in the suicide lane because he's too lazy to walk. And then storms by all like we're doing something wrong. Dickie Farley's thanking everybody for their kind words and birthday wishes. Thank you, Dickie. It's great having you here, brother. But yeah, no, that's kind of how he was. You know what I mean? He just start going off on something, whatever it may be. Um, yeah. At Zero saying we'll miss Cortez most. Yeah, I haven't seen him around much. I think they like reinforced his cage or whatever, so he hasn't been getting out. Yeah, Hubie saying Ray was waving his arms and everything, and Nate Mayfield in the chat. Howdy, Nate. Nate, I saw your comment, brother. I haven't gotten a chance. If anybody left a comment on that video, I haven't got a chance to reply. I've just been really trying hard to get everything together with that truck and not spend too much time on the phone. But GTI Warrior saying, wait, you used a loading zone for loading? Scandalous. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I was dealing with, guys. And it's like, you know, I'm getting, I'm not old, obviously, but it's like I'm getting a little older and calmer. But most people who've known me for any period of time understand that that's probably not a good way to act around me. But you can ask at Zero. Cousin Mike saying, "Ari, you can come help me with the new bird. Teach her how to sing." Cousin Mike, I was going to mention that. I didn't know if you were saving it for some kind of YouTube gold or anything, or if you'd already done a video. I'm behind on everything right now, but yeah, Cousin Mike just got a really badass new car. It's the T-Bird, and it's got a 429 Thunderjet, right, Cousin Mike? Oh, you already did a video. See, I'm a horrible YouTuber. I need to keep up with everybody's videos. I need to make little stuff and designs and yeah, Cousin Mike's got he's got himself a 68 T-Bird with a 429 Thunderjet. It's a sweet car, Mike. It's cool you can pick them up like that out there. You know, out here it's few and far between. Yeah, I'd be happy to come up there. Brother Bear, you know, he offered me a place to stay. You know, people I got to stop for a second here and just all the kind words and everything, all the positivity you guys left in the comments and all that, and just hearing it from you guys. I really appreciate that. I really do. You know what I mean? Because uh, you know what I mean. Especially with the way things are going lately. You know what I mean. It starts to feel like the odds are against me, but it just feels good. People in your corner. Jive Vibe Jeff saying 68 bird sounds familiar. Cousin Mike saying right, Jeff. But yeah, I've got the I appreciate you guys. But I've got the 350 in the truck. I've got the new flywheel on, the clutch, got the proper throwout bearing. I've got the slave cylinder installed. I've got it plumbed and bled out and everything. So I've got a clutch. I just need to install the drive shaft. I need to get down there and install the starter, do a little bit of wiring. And yeah, it's getting there, guys. Brother Barry's saying you always have a home, brother Ari. Pick a state and you're more than welcome, man. I appreciate that, Kim. I really, really do, man. That stuff hits me right here. I just, like, I was trying not to get emotional. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like that. I want to be that guy. I'll be crying. I'll be bawling in front of you guys. But I really appreciate it. Hubie saying it worked out great. My kid trailered his Nova to his buddy's house in Gulfport, Mississippi, and he won't be home until the 9th. It opened a parking spot for the Apache for 2 weeks. I hope I don't take that long, Hubie. I'm trying to get along. I'm just still disorganized. I'm trying to get a battle plan. But I picked up some good parts today, and I think I figured out my water pump situation. I was kind of torn between the short and tall water pump and how I was going to run my pulleys and everything, but I think I'm just going to use what was already on the 350 for now, just to save thinking. Nathan's Mopar Garage is asking which transmission am I using. I'm using the original 3-speed, Nathan, just because I didn't have really spare funds to get the other drive shaft service to run the SM420. So I'm just using the original 3-speed and my old drive shaft with the V8 bell housing in the 350. Hubie's Garage is saying you'll pay it forward someday. I pray I get the chance to, man. I pray I get the chance to. I start to. It's been like that for a long time. You know what I mean? Because I just it's just me, but I'm always feeling kind of indebted to those around me, wishing I could repay the favor and, you know, do for them like they've done for me. And I pray someday I'll get the chance because, you know what I mean. It's here. It's just I can't make it come to fruition yet. Nate Mayfield saying I'm gonna miss that inline six, but that 350 is gonna bring that old girl back to life. Yeah, Nate, I'm excited about it, man. I'm a little bummed out. I might have to sell the 6-cylinder. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to, just because it's kind of sitting in Hubie's driveway, and I got a decent offer on it. So I feel like I'd be kind of stupid to try to hold on to it. Pad 66 Chevelles is in the chat. Howdy, brother. Saying I did some measuring on a 57 Bel Air. Bad 66, I think, is going to cut up a Bel Air to work on his Plymouth, if I'm not mistaken. Ah, yeah, he's saying I checked the firewall on 57 Bel Air, and it's more narrow, and I think it'll work to make my 57 Plymouth. Hubie's Garage is saying we'll locate the proper pulleys on Marketplace. I only have pulleys for the short water pumps. Yeah, Hubie, I have the original pulleys for the tall water pump. Alva has them right now, but he'll give them back to me, and I can run those. I was worried. I thought that the serpentine that I had went to the power steering pump as well, and I was like, well, I'm either going to have to get a different size belt, or I might not be able to tension it or something. But I looked at some pictures that I had, and the serpentine is separate from the power steering pump belt. So there's it had the water pump, the alternator and the dampener on the serpentine, and then it had a separate V belt for the power steering pump. So I think I can use what I have, Huey. Huey's saying second 235 I've had in the back of my Duramax in 2 weeks. Don't speak too soon, Hubie. You might get another Power Glide back there too. Bad 66. And Hubie's like, oh no. Cutting up the Chevy to fix the Plymouth. But yeah, I got a decent offer on the 6-cylinder. And again, it kind of bums me out, but there's only so much I can do right now. So it's like, I feel like it'll be a good move. It'll give me a little extra cushion, a little extra cash. It'll clear up 600 pounds of Detroit from Hubie's driveway. And, I think that's a win. Brian M saying, I did not think that 235s multiplied. Yeah, Brian, it's well, you get water on them after a certain hour. Bad 66 is saying, I got those Vortec heads to put them on my C10 and ran into an issue. What happened, Bad 66? You be saying Bad 66? No worries. I check in every now and then on your channel. It has piqued my interest. Cousin Mike saying, I fit a Ford 400 and 390 in the back of a Ranchero once. She was about dragging on the ground. I wish I could have seen that, Mike. The truck's like that with the lowering springs. As soon as I get more than a couple hundred pounds in there, she's on the bump stops. Like, she looks like almost squatted in the way she's sitting in Hubie's backyard right now. Nate Mayfield saying, I have a soft spot for 6-cylinders for some reason. I always just love them, Chevy or Ford. Me too, Nate. I ran the hell out of that thing, But, most people swap them outright. And, I ran that thing for 10 years. I learned the ins and outs. Even just a month ago, I had the thing almost completely apart. And, I feel like I did right by that engine best I could. And the folks who I'm selling her to, they're going to rebuild the engine and put it in like a 52 Chevy or something. So she's just going to have a cream puff life, cruising, you know what I mean? No more work, no more work truck life for her. You'd be saying, you forget I had a cast iron Glide in the Duramax a couple weeks ago and actually own it now. Hopefully not for long. GTI Warriors saying, I drug around a BMW straight six for a friend in a VW caddy. Jeez. The BMW 6, is it a lot of aluminum? Is it that heavy? It's probably heavy. Girls Garage is saying, and it was a Falcon Ranchero. Yes. Yes. See, that's one thing I'm worried about, Brother Bear. If I were to move up there, Mike and I are going to get into all kinds of shenanigans. And all your YouTube money is going to turn into bail money just like that, man. And Jeff saying I'm getting a Ranchero. He's got a 66 Ranchero with a souped up 289. Bad 66 is saying, all right, I'll be serious. I installed the Vortec heads and I need either self-aligning roller rockers or guide plates on the hardened push rods. Or guide plates and hardened push rods. I'm leaning towards guide plates and hardened push rods. Oh, it messed up your valve geometry with the old equipment. Okay, I could see that. Yeah, Zero saying, Christine, badass, death to the shitters. And I have her hubcaps. Yeah, at Zero, I actually bought those from Ray at Zero. At the last shop, they were sitting up in the attic, and I was like, "Hey man, how much do you want for these hubcaps?" He's like, $25. I'm like, "All right." And I got at Zero a real crispy, nice set of Fury caps. Barrow's Garage saying, "Do it, I dare you." I tell you what, Brother Bear, the Spud Factory sounds like a pleasant change. Be honest with you, I'm getting kind of sick of cars, guys. I think I'm going to start scrapbooking or something. Maybe a rock collection. Pet rocks. I'm going to start a collection of pet rocks and scrapbooking. Maybe a stamp collection or something because this is I don't think the car thing's working out for me too well. Yeah, I'm kidding. No, something some maybe a different line of work couldn't hurt. No, I'm kidding. I enjoy working on cars. Hubie saying, Bad 66. My buddy and I rescued a 57 Savoy and located a 392 Hemi at his grandfather's farm to put in the Savoy. It's a great project, but his dad sold it before we finished. Oh, geez. Jack stands in cinder blocks in the chat. Howdy, brother. How are you, man? Jack stands. I'm so brainless, man. I forgot to reply to your email. That was like a week or two ago or something. Jack stands is trying to send me some stickers like a gentleman. Excuse me. I will email you back, brother. Nate Mayfield saying chia pets. Yes, maybe car-shaped chia pets. Hubie saying you'll be bored before the first hour is up. Jack stands and Cinderblocks is saying I dropped my phone last night and stepped on it. Was it salvageable or did you have to go get a new one today? Bad 66 is saying I tried to find the real car, but too many people aren't serious and expect you to drive halfway across the country for a car. Sadly, it's time off work and getting the money to do it. Oh yeah, just making sure. Jack stands. I appreciate you, man. It's a very kind gesture, and I'm just a little bit brainless there. I should have got back to you. Bad 66 is saying, so Bel Air to Plymouth conversion it is. Let the build begin. That's going to be a cool one, Bad 66. I don't think I can make the wheels turn on that. That's a little above my head, but that sounds really cool. That's cool. And D's in the chat. Howdy, brother. How are you? But the Apache's kind of coming together. Like I said, I'm a little bit disorganized still. I'm not getting as much done as I would like to, but I'm kind of thinking things through. And I think, excuse me, once I get everything I need to in order, I should be able to knock out the work really fast and get her going. Jack stands in Cinderblocks saying the screen had sharp slivers after I took the screen protector off. I went from a Motorola G to a flagship Samsung 23 Ultra. Oh man, I kind of miss my Motorola. You could shake it and the flashlight turned on and stuff. I don't even know what. I think the one I have is a Samsung. It's some kind of Galaxy something or another, but it's like they sold me. Oh, it's got a stainless body and stuff. I'm like, did I get sold a dad phone? I think I did. Bad 66 is saying I have non-self-aligning rockers, 1.5 and 3/8 for my 350 with Vortex, but I think I'd rather run guide plates and hardened push rods rather than self-aligning roller rockers. What do you think? Well, Bad 66, that's to be honest, that's a little above my head, man. I've never had the chance to really, run one or the other to compare. But I'm sure someone else here could probably give you a very solid answer because these guys got some experience. UB's Garage is saying, I had a guy in Montana who had a 56 Chevy wagon, then grafted a 56 Pontiac from the firewall back. Then he put a 55 Chevy quarter panel on the passenger side. That was a Frankenstein car. Jack Stan saying that the first thing I noticed missing, but I can get the app and turn on a widget. Nice. And D saying, just got the rear frame set up in our Falcon. Wife is currently making seat covers. Badass, Aunt D. Those are going to look, I'm sure they're going to look badass. They're going to look good. Bad 66 is saying, I know the factory Vortec rocker arms are self-aligning. Dave Lewis is saying, you never checked your email, Ari. Did you email me, Dave? I've been all sorts lately, man. I'm like, on a normal day, I'm like a headless chicken, so I don't even know what I am now, man. But I've been a little bit all over the place, man. I'll definitely check it. Buff Del Campo emailed me. I saw that. Dave is saying, yes, I have. I'll check that right away, Dave. I'm sorry about that. I'll write it down so I can't forget in my brainlessness. Sweet, wrote that down. Thanks, Dave. Sorry about that, brother. BNR Racing's in the chat. Howdy, Brian. How are you, man? Jack Stands and Cinder Blocks is saying, I need seat covers for the Suburban buckets. Jack Stands and Cinder Blocks, I found some funky ones on I think it's the website's called like Printerville or something. But I got some funky ones. They had like they're like little cats and little like stars and stuff on them for my lady, but there was a bunch of cool stuff on there. Doobie's Garage is saying, Zero, they thought it was a scammer and flamed him. Finally put another 55 Chevy quarter on it, cut out the wheel wells, and sold it as a gasser. Ad Zero saying, content creation. It's a content creator workshop right here. Yeah, but I'm definitely not like chugging. I'm not really chugging along on the truck like I was last time around, I guess. But Jack Stands Cinder Blocks is saying, okay, too funky. Cat seat covers might be a hard no. Jack Stands, I'm not saying you need some cat, seat covers. I'm just saying they had some funky patterns and stuff. I don't know. I'm a little out there, so I was looking for seat cover, a bench seat cover in a Mondrian pattern. I mean, it just a little glimpse into my brain right there. Jack Stands and Cinder Blocks saying, I'm trying to get faster at content. Yeah. My problem is I'm like a horrible YouTuber, you know what I mean? There'll be something right in front of me, like, like Hubie and I have been working together the past couple of days. I feel like we probably could have got some great videos out maybe, but, I don't know. We're both doing our thing, I guess, so it's hard to sit down and record or set up a camera. BNR Racing saying, I look for those Mickey Thompson valve covers, small block Chevy. Found my Pontiac V8 set. One more spot to look in my basement. Have to move a 1965 Olds 425 block. I think it's in an office filing cabinet behind that. I appreciate it, Brian. If you can find them, that'd be cool. I think Hubie was trying to finagle for a set of Edelbrock valve covers for me. Some nice chrome Edelbrocks, but it's not a for sure thing. So. Bad 66 is saying, I dug into those Vortex heads and did some research, and I believe they're actually Mexico Crate 350 heads for a Vortex. The only number on them is engraved in the front of them. That's a little trippy there, Bad 66. My block is Hecho in Mexico. It's the heads were too, but they were 624 heads. They weren't Vortex heads. Brian M saying, I get it, Ari. I'm hot and cold when it comes to shooting video. Sometimes, I feel like if I force it, you know what I mean? Then it's like, some of my shorts are like that, where I feel like I need to do them. I put them out and they're like, I'm not really happy with them, but I don't know. Shopcat Industries in the chat. Howdy, Shopcat. How are you? I saw a guy with, he's driving like an ass today. He had a big duck sticker on the back of his window. I thought of you. I was like, oh man, if he was a real hockey fan, he'd have an Oilers sticker. Aunt D saying, until I met my wife, all of my seat covers were secondhand blankets from tag sales or Salvation Army. That doesn't sound bad. Hubie's Garage is saying, I bought a lot of parts off him while I was there. Cool dude. By the way, I'm bummed. I have a girlfriend at the X concert tonight at the fairgrounds. I miss going. I didn't know X was playing. I would have gone too. Jack Stands and Cinderblock saying, I did get catfished into trying to watch Mr. Beast shred a Lamborghini. You be saying, I need to jump back on my videos? Yeah. Brian saying, I'm old school? Yeah, you sure are, man. You got to kick ass, man. You know all the good stuff. Cousin Abel's in the chat territory. Howdy, Abel. How are you? Mopar Man 1978. Howdy, brother. How are you, man? How's it treating you? How's the week? Bad 66 is saying, yes, those Vortex heads came from North Carolina, but in reality, they're the same exact heads that are used on Mexico crate engines in the Jegs catalog. Okay. Shopcat Industries saying real good, Ari, edging up on a 2.5 thousand. Glad to hear it, Shopcat. You deserve it, brother. Brian saying if I was local to Younger Cali, I would show Ray what to do and what I do in 1980, 2000, kick Ray's ass. Brian, that was like my biggest fear is that I would end up kicking his ass. That was my biggest fear. I'm like, do not let this idiot bait you into kicking his ass. Because that's letting him win. Because there's no doubt. I know I can kick his ass. Guy's a coward. But you know, it's the same thing as same thing as the drone thing. You know, it's like, is beating this guy's ass, is that going to make me happy? Is that going to make anything better? Probably not. You know what I mean? It just, you know what I mean? It puts me at fault. You know, if I'm going to break the law, it's going to be for something cool. You know? Jack stands Cinderblock saying I showed up, cameras and all their cameras and all, and their security made me put everything away while everyone still had cell phones. Basically, they sat in the hot sun all day till everyone went home. Jeez, that don't sound fun, man. Jack stands and Cinderblocks is saying, then paid the last few people to leave. Jeez. Hubie's Garage is saying X, Save Ferris, and English Beat. I've seen all those bands. I worked security for a Save Ferris show, and that was a weird crowd. Cousin Abel's saying, Ari, how's the truck coming along? Missed the beginning. It's coming along, man. I'm making some slow progress. I'm still a little bit disorganized, but I'm getting to the point where I'm going to get everything kind of lined up and probably knock out most of the work. My biggest conundrum right now is my exhaust. I've got some kind of crappy ram horns right now, and I'm not into them really. I'm not, but with those ram horns and probably a cheap Y pipe, it'd probably be the easiest way for me to get down the road for now until I can get something better going. I've had a couple people offer me headers, but right now I can't afford a full exhaust system, so I'm holding off on that until a later date. Mopar Man 1978 saying just got to 900 subs 2 days ago. Well deserved, brother. Very well deserved. You do great work over there, man. Great work. Brian M saying, wow, and I thought the Jack in the Box managers were crazy. Cousin Abel saying, save Ferris. Bad 66 is saying, Ari, one reason I really dig your channel is because you're into the same cars as me. I love oddball classics. Look forward look Mopars, 59 biscuits, 1960 GMC trucks, 59 Edsels. Yeah, me too, man. Bad 60. That's the kind of land yachts, the really funky cars where you're like, you're looking at the body lines, like, where is this going? You know, and that's kind of what drew me to my truck. You know, the crazy big eyebrow hood and everything, and then I pictured it just kind of as long as it is and low, and because it is kind of unique looking for a truck, I feel like it makes kind of its own thing, but I don't know. I'm with you there though. Jack Stands and Cinderblocks is saying, I know the guy that painted the 5HW Lamborghini for them. They also paid to paint the car shredder at the salvage yard. Did a lot of prep work. They just didn't want anyone getting footage for free. Oh, geez. At Zero saying, acting tough and actually being the dude that will fight is different. Proud of you, brother Ari. Thanks, brother. You know, I'm trying, man. I learned, you saw me learn my lesson, man. Andy's saying, I also posted a video, first time in a year or two. Most likely it will be a while before I post another. If someone moderating doesn't mind posting Andy's video, I didn't know you had content up, Andy. I don't know if I'm subscribed or not, but I'll definitely subscribe and check it out, man. I'm pretty bad about that. I don't catch up with people's videos all the time, but I need to work it back into my schedule, just taking some time for YouTube and not doing anything but kind of just watch some videos. In my original, you know, when I watched a lot of Uncle Tony and everything else, I worked nights, like a sunrise shift. So I would work, you know, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then I'd get off and kind of just be restless for a while. I'd catch up on videos, get my nap, and then go do my have my day. But now I don't really have that worked into my schedule anymore. Hubie's Garage is saying Ari did the right thing. He took the high road and came out better for it. We just need to take the truck down to our cheapy muffler shop and have him make him a Y pipe. Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad, right, Hubie? I need to go grab those. I'm gonna grab some exhaust gaskets, some plug wires, some fluids, and I think that's all the consumables I need. As far as I know, I need to get those pulleys from Alva, and it's kind of funny, you know what I mean? I felt like I had a lot of this stuff in order, but I kind of had the wrong stuff. Maybe too many ideas going on at once. Jack Stands and Cinder Blocks is saying I need to get the live stream app on this phone now. Oh, the StreamYard. That's right. That's right. Yeah, thanks, Yubi. I mean, the high road is just I don't need that. You know what I mean? Never in my life has. I mean, not to say that it's like it's bad to stand up for yourself or something, but to stand up in myself in that respect has always caused me more problems. Always. Ad 66 is saying I'd love to get to 2,000 subs, but I think I'm deterring folks away because because I Frankenstein too much. I don't think so, Bad 66. Just you're gonna get that one video. YouTube it'll hit the algorithm, find the right crowd. It'll be great, man. Jack Stands and Cinderblock saying keep posting, brother. Yep. Ad 66 is saying, Hubie, I know where 757s are at. I made a video of them. A few wagons too, 57 Bel Air Heaven. Nice. Andy's saying, I just threw up a short on a whim. That's cool, Andy. I mean, you know what I mean? Some of them get a lot of views. You get a few subs. That's why I started uploading to YouTube. You know, my first few videos were just for people who I talked to on Tony's channel. And they were asking about, what's that truck that you drive? What's so-and-so? And, when I got the Dart, I did a video on that. But I think it was like a year and a half later after those videos that I uploaded a short of me complaining and driving around my storage. And it got like 1,800 views and some people subscribed to the channel. So I was like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to try this out. Bad 66 is saying, guess what, Ari? I woke up doing two in my camper the other day. What, man? Hopefully nothing crazy. Cousin Abel's saying, Ari, is there a chance you'll beat Scott and the rest of the Cold War Motors gang in the V8 showdown? I think I got a little bit of a head start, Cousin Abel. A little bit of a head start, man. Plus, I'd have to go get like an old Studebaker V8 or something, old Caddy V8 to throw in the truck, which I wouldn't mind. Hubie's saying, Bad 66, you would have liked this Montana guy. He had a 59 and a 60 Chevy sedan delivery for $1,000 each. He also had a 59 Elko for cheap. Those are nice cars. Jack Stands and Cinder Blocks is saying, Aunt D, you got a new sub, and that's a lot of rust. Sand Mountain Ballistics in the chat. Howdy, Hunter. How are you, man? Jack Stands and Cinder Blocks is saying, I haven't had a video hit 1,000 in months. Jack Stands, none of my videos get a lot of views. I had one clutch video that I uploaded that got around 800 views. But I think at the time, my channel was still kind of too sparse for it to keep anybody around. And but my shorts get views. I do the videos mostly for like the smaller group of people, like on the live streams and stuff. And then I do the live streams, and I feel like this is definitely my favorite way to address people. Yeah, I can answer questions as I go. You know what I mean? It's all live, especially if I'm in the shop or something. I can just go over what I'm doing real fast rather than trying to cram it into a video, get to the end of the video and be like, oh, I forgot this. You know what I mean? That's probably has more to do with my attention span than anything else. Jack Stands and Cinderblocks saying, where's the V8 showdown? Jack Stands and Cinderblocks, it's Cold War Motors. They're I think they're building a couple old Studebakers right now. Crazy old. They do challenges like that. They'll do winter beater challenges. Some, trying to get a car running before summer kind of challenges, and right now it's a V8 showdown. Brian saying, the way he egged you on, Ari, Ray set himself up with unemployment, not to pay. Oh yeah, you think yeah, he's probably trying for that, probably. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's so funny. My mind is so far from any of that. Like he was asking for my keys. He's like, you're gonna, I've got thousands of dollars of stuff here. I was like, Ray, so do I. I was like, I've got too much stuff of my own to take already. Why would I take anything of yours? I don't need anything else. I have my own things. That's you who takes things. Pissed him off. Yeah, no, BNR, it was a really unpleasant situation. You know what I mean? I was kind of over it. I was completely over it. You know what I mean? Because that F-150 that's in the shop, I shouldn't disclose this. The F-150 that's in the shop, we were dropping the 400 into that thing, right? And instead of taking the hood off, my boss wants to undo one bolt on the hinges and prop the hood up like, like just like a 90, like a Volvo hood, but there's no support for it. So after we drop the engine in this thing and everything, I'm setting it down onto the wheels, and the hood falls back onto the cab and just completely dead center of that roof line just smashed it. Just smashed it. And that was no big deal. A truck that's about to leave, brand new paint job, thing gets smashed. It's no big deal. The paint, just have the painter throw some mud in it. Great. Now these poor folks, good folks too, really nice people. The same folks that sold me that Holly for $200 got a truck that's probably cost them more than $100,000. That's full of mud. The chassis not painted. The brake lines aren't done. I don't know. You know what I mean? I felt like there were so many bigger fish to fry that I don't know why I was even on the damn radar. That's why it bugged me so bad. Hubie saying shorts for me have always been all been 15 seconds videos on a whim. I schedule them every Friday morning. My RV sewage dump has about 12,000 views. Nice. Brian saying I think you should consider trying diesel end work. Should be able to get in easy. Tarnished Ray will not matter. It doesn't matter at all because I actually do have some really good, I feel like I have some good references in the industry. The fabricators I worked with were far more, known uh, as far as, just locally than Ray was at all. And, I worked with them pretty significantly. I have some good references, but BNR, I was thinking about that, man. I saw an advertisement for even just a lube tech in a diesel shop, and they were paying pretty well. I know it's not easy work. I know it's not, but you know what I mean? I never asked for easy work. I just need to get something done. I need to get paid. Sand Mountain Ballistics saying, all right, I'm good. I was up to doing research about a T5 to a Pontiac. Figured I'd pop in for a little before I hit the hay. Is there an adapter plate for you or what? Bad 66 is saying 59 Elko is super rare. I got my 59 Biscayne from, the guy I got my 59 Biscayne from has a 59 Elko. You woke up to Bad 66. Is this a bad joke or what? I woke up to a black snake 5 inches away from me, flickering its tongue at me. My dog just laid there asleep. That sounds pretty sketchy, man. Trying to get something running before X. That's almost all my garbage. I'm with you. Nate Mayfield, I was there for almost a year. I started in late last August, and yeah, almost a year, about 11 months. Sand Mountain saying you're gonna try to go to another shop, Ari. Hunter, I'm probably gonna go work for Hobby Lobby or something. Maybe I'll just I don't know if I could probably just commit myself, just wear some rubber slippers, play croquet, just kind of take it easy for a while. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I think maybe walk the earth like Kane from Kung Fu. I don't know. Hubie saying it was totally a toxic drama place. You did right by getting out. You'll bounce back. Thanks, brother. Because Mike's saying that was one good thing about old Dodge pickups. Hood open straight up for quick engine swaps. Yep. Hunter's saying working at a shop like that gets annoying. That's for sure. Yeah, I can't take that. I can't take that stuff, man. I'll lose it. Brian saying just need an old timer like me to teach you, Ari, on the job. Man, I see that's the problem is, you know what I mean? The apprenticeship is so dead. You know what I mean? Everybody's just like everybody just wants to throw something at you and be like, well, can you get it done or not? You know, and it's like I had Ray telling me to YouTube stuff, and I'm like Ray, you know what else is on YouTube? You know what I mean? But I don't know. Cousin Mike saying down there, Ari might be a lube tech for adult videos. Cousin Mike, it would probably be cleaner work than some of the other stuff I've done. Bad 66 is saying 58 Ford cars and Edsel open from the back of the hood. 59 Ford's open from the back, but on the 59 Edsel, it opens like a normal hood. Hunter's saying, Sand Mountain Ballistics is saying, yeah, they make some adapter plates so you can bolt the bell housing up in. Just thinking about using a later model bell housing and using the pedals and Z-bar out of a 70s, 80s Firebird Camaro. That'd be kind of cool, man. Get yourself a nice world-class T5 on her. That'd be a pretty cool rig. Brian, yeah, California's paying decent for diesel, definitely. Not quite what you mentioned, not like 60, maybe at your level of experience, but kind of mid-range, closer to $40 an hour. But I don't really qualify for those positions at all. Hubie saying my kid quit Clay Smith too. He hit the ceiling for growth there, and with a family-run business, he would not have been able to move up. Hey, Caesar T Rex is in the chat. Says, "What the hell? What did I miss, Ari? You quit?" Yeah, I kind of. I don't know if I quit or I got fired, Caesar. Does it count as getting fired if you talk shit to your boss until he fires you? Hunter's saying all those shops like that, it's usually the management gets old. I'm about ready to go into welding. Good place I work just gets old. Yeah, I feel you there, man. Just something simple, you know what I mean? And in a hot rod shop, the work's so abstract, you know what I mean? Nothing fits. It's always a damn puzzle unless you're working on GM stuff. So it's, I don't know what the expectations are kind of strange too. Bad 66 is saying it's quite amazing building a car off grid and doing what I do without a lot of resources. That's for sure, man. You know, I've been kind of pampered having the whole shop thing. You know, there's big old bandsaw, there's a lathe, there's the hardware, stuff like that. You know, it really speeds up the job. I feel like having access to the little things that you gotta, get you back and forth to the store all the time. That'll hold you back. Yep. But it was just getting old over there, I guess. I was kind of ready to get out of there around last December. After the V8 incident, Caesar T-Rex is saying, bro, it's a blessing. I think so too, Caesar. I think so. I wasn't getting paid a lot, and I was working pretty dang hard. So, if I'm willing to sacrifice 11, 12 hours of my day, I should probably be able to do a little bit better than I'm doing right now. So that's how I'm thinking about it. But I'll find something decent, and I don't know. I feel pretty dang good. I feel all right. I was tired today. I was out of it. I left my keys. I was all sorts, but I feel pretty dang good. Andy's saying people don't leave jobs, people leave managers. That's for damn sure. Nathan's Mopar Garage is saying I got sick of working on cars for a living, got into the pipe fitters apprenticeship. Nathan, pipe fitters would probably be a good one. I think I'm too dumb for that, but but there's bound to be something. Hunter saying I have a few connections to getting into auto body, but I said no, no. That's a strange path for you, Hunter. You're too mechanically inclined to be a body man. Bad 66 is saying I won't get into a lot of detail, but I choose to do things the way I do, and eventually I'll get electric and straighten out things when build a garage. Yeah, I feel you there, man. But it's cool you got a place to work just the same. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'd be happy if I had a nice field to throw my cars in. It's not bad. Brian M. Life is saying, I think Ray took advantage of you. I think that's pretty easy to say, Brian. You know what I mean? Because I was very, very underpaid. I don't really want to throw out any numbers, but for example, the local Uber Eats drivers make 40 cents more an hour than I did. And I'm not one of those big ego people that's like, well, I'm worth this much. But, if you're going to be critiquing my work and you're going to be up my ass and stuff and you're going to pay me like that, I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm going to say, hey, you know what? For what you pay me, I shouldn't even have my damn tools out. And that's not going to make you happy. Stoic Steel's in the chat saying, I work for a restoration shop for a summer in college, and I can confirm the work kind of sucks. Hubie's Garage is saying it was a classic fork in the road of life, and you took the correct turn. Thanks, Hubie. Nathan's Mopar Garage is saying it's not hard work, it's all mechanical stuff and welding. Nathan, you're being modest, man. You work your ass off. Jack Stand of Cinder Blocks is saying if you think you're too dumb for pipe fitting, you're probably too smart for it. Caesar T Rex is saying I'll take my 62 tomorrow. You can start with that one. Ari's Garage coming to you soon. I mean, I'm a little bit green to have my own shop, but I guess if it was C10s, I could keep them running. Got 10 years experience keeping a C10 rolling. Yeah, Caesar, one of these days, man, I'd be so proud to work on your truck, brother. I'd be so proud. And you said it's already got that 400 in it, so if that means they probably already dealt with the torsion bar cross member to some degree or another. So I mean, I feel like it would be pretty straightforward work, but I'd be absolutely honored to work on your truck, Caesar. Bad 66 is saying I'm so old school, love hand tools and don't really use power tools. I do have a generator if I truly need to, but sometimes I want to feel how everything comes apart for threads, etc. I'm with you, Bad 66. I spend a lot of money on hand tools. I got some real good quality stuff. I'm big on the speed wrench. You know what I mean? I'll switch between quarter, 3/8, half-inch drive. I tend I love a half-inch, impact for disassembly sometimes. If I'm just trying to get something apart real fast, but for the most part, I really love hand tools. Bad 66 is saying I charge 30 an hour, but I'm shade tree. That's a good rate for shade. Brian's saying when you become a diesel mechanic, all right, within 3 months you become superhuman strong. Be able to pick up rates. Brian's gonna sneak over here and assassinate Ray. Don't do it, Brian. It's not worth it. We need you out here. Jack Stands and Cinder Blocks is saying my company bills 90 an hour per tech I have on the clock. Jack Stands what bothered me most about that is that the shop rate was $175 an hour, which again, I'm not going to say any exact numbers, but that is in fact 10 times my hourly rate. Bad 66 is saying the eyebrow hood was only 60 to 61, correct, Ari? I think so, Bad 66. I've seen some 62s with them, but I don't know if they were swapped or not. Jack Stands and Cinder Blocks is saying pipe fitting is just physical labor, mostly with a grinder. I'm qualified. You said angle grinder? I am qualified. Andy's saying the pay is only one part of the equation. I would have taken a pay cut to get away from the donkeys I was surrounded with. Exactly, Andy, exactly. Hubie's Garage, excuse me, is saying my neighbor saw Ari's Apache and wants Ari to do a tune-up on his original owner 63 Apache. It has a 327 Turbo 400 with gear vendor's overdrive. Yeah, Hubie, that was another one. I was absolutely touched by that. I'd be again very, very honored to work on their car or truck. It's I love those trucks. I probably said it before, but when we were kids, my buddy had his 64 GMC short bed pickup with a flat bed. And my other buddy, he still has his 63 long bed. And I had the old 60 Apache. Another one of our buddies had another C10. So it's like we'd cruise around like that. And I don't know, they're just my favorite. 60 to 66 Chevy trucks are my absolute favorite vehicles. Pugonomics R is saying, do you ever just cup a juicy fart and deeply inhale it for good luck? Pugonomics, it's you can't just deeply inhale it. That'll spoil the flavor. You got to really like chew on it like a wine, like a you're not getting it otherwise. But yes, I do agree with your I don't agree with your methods, but I do agree with the must. Like a fart sommelier. Nathan's Mopar Garage is saying jack stands grinders are for guys that can't weld. Yeah, exactly, Nathan. That's why I'm so damn good with the grinder. Hunter's saying that's crazy. Shop I work for doesn't charge much at all, but some of the cars roll out cost $120,000. Yeah, that's probably how it should be, Hunter. You know what I mean? It doesn't cost that much. The car gets done properly. You don't have projects getting pulled like the 40 Ford I worked on, or the 65 Mustang I worked on, or the Cougar that's been sitting there for 5 years. UB saying I have to get you over there to see that Apache. It's a beautiful truck. I bet I'm gonna have to bring my fender skirt, UB. Caesar's saying I think you're really underrating yourself. C10 clubs will pay you on the spot to get work done on them. I, maybe Caesar, but I'd rather underrate myself than overrate myself, man. I don't want to be that guy. Like, yeah, I got this, and then it's like I don't know what's going on with. No, I do all right in my own capacity. I'm just I still feel like I have a lot to learn. And Jack Stands is saying right. We have a narrow margin of profit. That's why we need someone that can accurately bid the work, so we don't lose money on project. Exactly. Bad 66 is saying I just roll up the windows and hit the lock button on the wife. Caesar saying, Hubie, don't leave Callie. He's trying to escape, Caesar. We can't keep him. Stoic Steel says, a grinder and paint will make you the welder you ain't. Exactly. Jack Stands is saying, if you get the grinding correct before the welding, you probably have less grinding to do afterwards. That's for sure. Cousin Abel's saying, Ari, trust me, you made a great move. I had an employer that hired me as a driver, but later got me to design, troubleshoot, and as an electrician. When he didn't want to compensate me properly, I walked. Exactly. Hunter's saying I was going to take a TIG welding class, but the school said for them to pay for 6 months of class, I'd pretty much have to sell my soul to the government. I said, screw that. Yeah, Hunter, those trade schools will get you. I forget how much they were trying to charge me to get my ASE certification, but it's probably like a third of my yearly income at the time. More, half, half my yearly income. Hubie saying I'm here for now. We appreciate you, Hubie. Glad you're here, man. But he might be moving to Montana soon to raise an upper crop of dental floss. Make sure to get your pink grapefruit sparkling water, guys. That's what all the real men drink. Nathan's Mopar Garage is saying, Sand Mountain, are there any good apprenticeships in your area? Cousin Abel saying, F those programs. Just start doing work and you'll learn quickly. Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to learn everything I can. Bad 66 is saying, I have 4 grinders. I use all at once. 1 grinder, gas wire wheel. 2 is cutoff wheel. 3 has grinder wheel. 4 has a flapper disc. Got tired of taking the blade off and switching at 50 million. Yeah, I feel you. Hunter saying, I'm just going to work my way into the industry. I'll have to get my buddy who's well known to hook me up somewhere. Yeah, I mean, dude, I mean, you're younger and you're obviously hardworking, so I don't think you'll have much of an issue. Do it now. That way you're not like me, 30 years old. Like, what do I do now? Brian saying diesel side learned along with auto daily repairs and hot rod race sides. You'll be like myself, Ari. Always doors open. I don't think I'll ever get on your level, Brian. You're a pretty serious mechanic, man. Can someone link Stoic Steel's channel, please, for jack stands and cinder blocks? Caesar T Rex is saying Ari thinks he's old at 30. I'm not that old. I'm just not that young either. You know what I mean? I feel like I should have probably taken all these licks when I was a little younger, but it's been kind of a weird run, so I feel a little older than I am. That's probably my youth showing too, right there. But I don't know. Oh geez, I'm spilling things. Ryan saying it's the mindset. I don't know, man. For me, it's like it would be cocky to assume that I could get on people's level who have done this longer than I've been alive. You know what I mean? Like I can only assume so much, and I do have I've got confidence in my work, my ability to learn, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't put myself on everybody else's level, I guess. Stoic Steel's got no videos. Got to change it, Stoic Steel. Get a couple shorts up or something, man. Ryan saying I had a terrific teacher, mentor, Bill Ritchie Sr. Yeah, no, I mean, my problem with, especially with Ray, is like that guy don't really teach anything. You know what I mean? He'll let you do it wrong 3 times, come up and be like, whoa, So I learned in my time at the shop, both shops that I worked at for him, I learned more from my mistakes than anything that was actually taught to me. Stoic Steel saying maybe someday. Nice. Add Zero's linking some channel. He's linked B&R. He's linking jack stands and cinder blocks. Wrench every day. Brian saying ASC tests I paid for myself and passed. Yeah, Brian, I didn't realize that it was like that. You could just kind of go take the test. The trade school I went to kind of made it. I don't know. They it was shrouded in mystery. Shrouded. Shroud. Don the shroud. Be the shroud. Bad 66 is saying Nathan's Mopar garage. I was sitting next to my front clip of my 57 Plymouth and thinking how much time and hours I had in it and how much effort I had to get through just to fix it. It's crazy sometimes, you know what I mean? You kind of stop in the middle of something, step back, and you're like, man, I really have a lot to do still. And it's kind of hard. It's kind of it kind of you fall between being kind of motivated and being kind of disheartened by it, depending on the day, probably. But I don't know. That's one thing that's really cool to me is it's everybody here in the chat. You know what I mean? It's like all you guys do some pretty amazing stuff. You know what I mean? In our own capacity, even just the people doing little stuff. There's people who don't work on cars here, I'm sure, but you guys all do amazing stuff. You know what I mean? And we get through it, and I don't know. It's not a big deal, and that's another thing that pisses me off about working for a shop like that. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like we're charging 175. We're charging people 10 grand to do some stuff people like you or I would do on a weekend. I don't know. Certain things I understand, but other things not really. Bad 66 is saying that front flip clip was cut in half. Jack Stand Cinder Blocks is saying, I worked on cars as a hobby most of my life. I did attend an automotive machinist school. My brother was going through an ASC certification program. Hubie saying, you need a government job with bennies and a pension. Continue to learn cars on the side as a hobby. Either that or a GoFundMe for a UTI tuition. I like your idea, Hubie. I've been really dwelling on that. Stoic Steel saying, "Already have your OSHA 10-hour certification and MVAC certification for AC works. A lot of shops will require at least those two. I do not, Stoic Steel. Write it down. Okay, Ocean 10 hour, and I'm back. I write all this stuff down so it doesn't just go straight out into the others. Brian saying first job away from electronics technician was at a Mack truck dealership. Nathan's Mopar Garage is saying OSHA 10 plus 30 class is so boring. I bet. Caesar T Rex is saying I'm happy for your new future. Thanks, Caesar, man. I appreciate it. Like it's a little, like I said, it's a little precarious in this moment, but I feel like a solid positive change coming on. Like I said, I really appreciate all the support from you guys, and Hubie saving my ass, man. And plus, it's really nice hanging around Hubie. We sit there and chat all day. We tell old stories, and we're talking about the world and family and everything else. And it's cool having some company, while I'm working and everything else. That's not like brain dead. But it's just really cool hanging out over there. It's a very positive place. A very positive place. At Zero saying, can someone do a YouTube short in Pig Latin? Came up once while BSing with Mopar Man. Please, someone do this. Sand Mountain Ballistics is saying, I'm calling it a night. Everyone take care. Hunter, have a good night, brother. Hope everything, good luck with the T5 swap and everything. And I hope the welding thing comes together, brother. Have a great week. Check your fluids. UB Garage is saying, OJT, on-job training was how I did most of it. You need a solid teacher to mentor you. It makes a difference, you know what I mean? Who you learn from, how you learn, it makes a huge difference. Like, I think that's why I'm so good at like the grunt work and the cleaning and labor and stuff, because my boss was kind of a complete ass, but it was good because it got me in gear to get stuff done, that not that stupid pace. But I don't know. Hex 10 is saying OSHA 10 is a paid nap if you're on the clock. Cousin Abel saying, all right, you're very creative. You're a content creator by day and a mechanic by night. I try my best, man. It's one of those things just in my own capacity, I try to do what I can, but Hunter's telling us to keep our powder dry. Brian's saying, got into the Mac dealership because the manager at the time, I bought his old 1970 and a half Trans Am, brought it back from the dead, called Jim, I need a job, instantly hired on the spot. Bad 66 is saying, I swear new sheet metal is softer. Comparing the same 20 gauge on older cars versus new cars. Aren't new cars supposed to be impactable though? Which is why the sheet metal bends so much easier. Bad 66, I thought it was the opposite. I thought that they had I thought they used to use 19 gauge. And then nowadays you kind of have to use the 20 because there's not an in between. But I could be completely wrong. That happens a lot. Caesar T Rex is saying, I sent you my number earlier. I'm down the road. I want to take those headers and say hi to Hubie and try to make him stay in California. Caesar, I'd be really happy to meet up with you, brother. I'd be totally stoked to meet you, man, and have a beer or whatever, chill, have a cheeseburger, anything, man. Everybody I've met off of YouTube has just been so dang cool. I mean, so cool. I mean, Hubie, of course. Alva's a great dude. Cousin. I haven't met cousin Mike yet, but brother Bear. He came down. We had some dinner together. It was a great time. He brought me a transmission all the way from Idaho, which I forgot. I was so stressed out at work, I forgot to do a video. I was going to do a nice short about having your hot rod parts imported from Idaho. As a Southern Californian, you may have trouble finding parts for your vintage car. Have them imported from Idaho. Brian's saying diesel mechanics are all rebels, Ari. Stoic still saying can confirm. Excuse me. Dave Lewis is saying it took me 3 days to pass a 6G pipe welding test at 5,000 pressure vessel and 1-inch plate test when I worked for U.S. Steel. That's pretty badass, Dave. Nathan's saying China metal is junk. Bad 66 saying might be. You'd be saying I worked for a plumber for 1 year. It was a real ass. He taught me about plumbing, and I plumbed my entire custom-built 2,700 square foot house myself because of him. Saved thousands. And I can attest that the house that Hubie built is gorgeous. I mean, just absolutely like a breathtaking, gorgeous house. So. Dave Lewis is saying older steel had lead in it. Lead makes everything better. I don't know why they keep taking it out of stuff. You'd be saying, I went back, thanked him, and gave him all the credit. And Craig Chitto's in the chat. Howdy, Craig. How are you? He's saying Amazon up an AC/DC TIG machine. Learn yourself under 1,000. Aunt D's got to call it a night. He's saying, we'll see you later. Aunt D, have a great night, brother. Good luck with the Falcon and everything. I hope the seat covers come out well. Thanks so much for stopping in. Really appreciate the comment on the video, man. It was very kind of you. And again, just have a great week. Check your fluids, brother. Charlie Roma's heading out too. He's saying good night, everyone. Got to get up early. Have a great week. Charlie, have a great night, brother. Thanks always. Glad to have you, man. The chat is much better with you, brother. Check your fluids. Caesar T-Rex is saying, damn, Brother Bear, Idaho is badass. Yeah, like I said, everybody I meet off of YouTube is so cool. Not something I really anticipated, because it's like I was on here, obviously enjoyed speaking with everybody just the same, but you meet people and it's like, it's just really, I'm still astonished by it. I mean, I feel, I don't like to throw the word around a lot because it sounds kind of candy ass if you use it every 10 seconds, but I feel pretty blessed, honestly. Bad 66. Yeah, Nibco fittings are the best, man. ETR Warrior saying, yeah, if you're independent minded, the diesel world can serve you well. Like I said, I do all right. And one of my biggest things with, you know what I mean, especially in that, it's like you're servicing equipment. You know what I mean? It's not, I don't know. It's more cut and dry, right? I mean, you're not, the hot rods, everything's got to be cute and pretty and, whatever. It's not parallel. I don't know. Bad 66 is saying lead and asbestos. That's the 60s safety standard is we do as best as we can. Nathan's Mopar Garage is saying welding on imported metal is magical. It disappears when you fire up on it. Dave Lewis is saying, look at Winfield, 90-something and still working with lead. Yeah, I mean, it's more like exposure, when I think it's like, what is it? After 600 degrees, the lead starts to vaporize, and then that's when it's dangerous as an inhalant. Obviously, you can touch it as long as you wash your hands, right? I mean, I'm just like, don't, make a lead sandbox and swim in it. Jack stands in cinder blocks and saying, you never have to worry about slow comments with me around. I can type pretty fast, even on the phone. Nice. Craig Chitto saying, big holiday over in Italy today, but it's the day the olives turn black. Nice. Yeah, Brian, exactly. I left you off the list. I've met Brian M. Got to bring him a Traeger. He gave me some produce. He offered his help too. He saw me pulling my stuff out with Hubie. He said, man, you should have called me. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Just everybody I meet off of YouTube, nothing but stand-up dudes. Nothing but I can't believe it. Uh, Jack stands in cinder blocks saying people need equipment service. Some of the semi drivers in the yard take extremely good care to detail their trucks. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess it's, there's some beautiful Peterbilts out there. That's like a couple $1 million hot rod. Olive Drabs in the chat. Howdy, Olive. How are you? Barrow's Garage is saying, you want a 1961 Ford Ranch Wagon or 1968 Ford Fairlane? They're only 20 minutes from the house and $600 to get you both home. I love Idaho for that. I'm telling you, Brother Bear, it sounds pretty cool up there, man. I mean, the weather seems a little crazy, but I mean, you see me sweating here right now. It's not like it's perfect. Caesar T-Rex is saying, great things are coming your way, brother. Thank you, Caesar. Like I said, I really appreciate you, man. Always, man, I appreciate you. Stoic Steel saying, some of them super truckers can be a bear to deal with. Yeah, I said it, Stoic Steel, and then I realized I was like, wait, those trucks are... I said it. Craig Chito saying, from a movie called Mafia, they crossed The Godfather and Casino as a comedy. Yes. Brian saying, you have to be detail oriented on diesels. They are actually precision built. Before DPF, SCR, EGR, they would run 2 million miles without a major overhaul. Terry Grover's in the chat saying, how are you doing? Hello, everyone. Doing well, Terry. How are you, man? Just hanging out over here, chatting with everybody. Nothing crazy going on. I'm in the opaque office. I was going to go outside, but this phone needs to charge. Bad 66 is saying, what gets me is body shops grind out the lead on quarters and put body filler back in. I'm like, why? Why? The lead was there for 60 years. Why grind it out and put crackable plastic back in? Sometimes, I mean, I've seen people melt the lead out, just for I think just to work the metal more. I think, I've seen that, but I've never seen them grind them out to replace with filler. Not Nelly's saying, I live there. Where? Brian saying, leave dirt inside of diesel engine, it will shit the bed. GTI Worry saying, BNR, you ain't lying. I've seen too many engines dusted. At Zero saying, lead and asbestos built the strong. Exactly. Stoic Steel saying, the real diesel engine killer today is the EGR and subsequent cooler that will eventually fail. Yeah, Tony's always talking about this. He's talking about modern cars, modern engines being on life support was how he phrased it, I believe. And I feel like that's a perfect way of saying. Hubie's Garage is saying, I thought Maruchan ramen noodles were good until we fought a fire in their plant. I haven't eaten that stuff since. What is it, like, do the noodles flame up? I'm picturing like noodle napalm. What is that like, Hubie? Olive, you can be as contrarian as you want on this channel. You will not say one bad word about lead. I'm just kidding. Brian saying, get to Illinois and get you a job at the restoration shop I'm working for now. 3 days a week, Monday to Tuesday, still doing a lead school bus mechanic gig. That'd be a big jump for me, Brian, but it'd be cool to work with you, man. You'd be thinking circles around me. Hubie's actually been doing my thinking for me. I've been outsourcing, been subcontracting my problem solving to Hubie. Barrow's Garage is saying my old boss Rex would blast out the old lead as well, but would re-lead it back in or use premium body filler. The old lead works with lacquer paint okay, but not modern paint. Oh, is it? Okay. Bad 66 is saying leaded gasoline rules. GTI Warrior is saying, yeah, who would think it? Who would have thought inhaling your own exhaust could be harmful? Engineers, so smart yet so dumb. Arrow's Garage is saying new lead doesn't have all the impurities of the old stuff. Olive, we need lead. Brian saying you work hard is what matters most. Everyone is fucking lazy here. Here too, Brian. I was getting so annoyed the past couple weeks at that shop. I'd get there at 7, 7:30, open up the bay doors, get it, get the fans going and everything, get a pot of coffee going, and I'm just sitting there for an hour and a half before anybody even shows face. I mean, I've been around lead my whole life. I fishing weights, I cast bullets. Look how smart I am. Olive. Buff Del Campo's in the chat saying, "Oh, you're here. Buff, I got your email. I got to give you a call. It's been a busy couple days, but I'll definitely give you a call, brother. I appreciate you reaching out, man." Bad 66. Winfield is near me. Yeah, he's. I think he's out in Palm Desert somewhere, or maybe somewhere off the 60. I think Hubie knows. Hubie's Garage is saying the noodles were miles long in the air on dirty conveyor belts. They had employees using dirty scissors and other tools. Kind of shocking to think humans consume it after seeing it handled. They're like treating it the same as like rubber. Buff Del Campo says, do that. Definitely, brother. I appreciate you, man. I really do. And if anybody wants to link Buff Del Campo's channel, I'd appreciate it. Buff and Kim have been putting up some really cool Slant 6 videos, some good informative stuff, and they're definitely worth checking out. He'd be saying he's in Mojave. Was looking him up today to go to the next class. We'll have to take Ari too. Hubie, I'll roll with you, man. That'll be a fun one. Buff Del Campo saying we had the laptop in the shop after UTG live to see, but you weren't there. Yeah, I took a second, Buff. I missed UTG's live. I was kind of busy. I was busy with the family, and then I was driving down here, and I tried to get this laptop set up, but I thought it was a laptop, but I'm pretty sure it's the internet because I was trying to use this phone on the Wi-Fi, and it was just as slow as the laptop. So I had to jump on my phone and then go live stream. So it took me a second. I'm sorry about that, Buff. Buff is saying Kim was porting the slant head. That's badass. I didn't get a chance to mess with mine at all, Buff. Olive saying, well, just don't inhale or ingest the stuff. Yeah, of course, Olive. Ryan M. Life saying, Hubie's Garage, that reminds me of why I do not eat anything from Jack in the Box. I have dumped the flat top grease bin. I hate that I have such a soft spot for Jack in the Box. Diesel side, there is no flat rate, Ari, unless you're effing off bad. No one questions how long the job takes to you to complete. You're always paid hourly and good money. Hey, you know what I mean? I try not to drag too much. I really try to get things done, as reasonably and as the haste makes waste thing is real for me. So it's like I'm not going to rush myself, but I try to, you know, just at whatever good pace I can. I try to work at that. Mopar man saying, well, I'm going to get off here, folks. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, 80 mile per hour winds expected. Warning goes until 12:15 a.m. Well, Mopar man, I hope everything's all right over there, and you're safe and everything. That sounds pretty hectic, man. 80 miles per hour is gnarly. But be safe over there. Thanks so much for popping in, man. Always glad to see you. And if it's going to rain that much, man, check your fluids. Jack Stands in Cinder Blocks is saying, till I bought the square body, I had never owned a V8 as a driver. My wife had the Tundra. Everything else was a flat four inline six. Yeah, the inline six generally for me has kind of obviously been the standby, but that square body is sweet. Jack Stands. It's got the Jack Stands and Cinder Blocks has like the square body crew cab, kind of like almost like the Alabama Dixieland Delight video, but not a little newer. It's a great truck. Buff Del Campo saying, I got some video. I'll look at it and edit tonight. I'll get it posted in a while. I'll check it out, Buff. I've been enjoying those shorts and stuff. I haven't been watching as much YouTube as I should, but like I said, I try to watch, and you guys are kicking ass over there, so. Pets. Excuse me. GTI Warrior saying, in my area, Peterbilt pays flat rate. Everyone else is hourly. Didn't they start outsourcing the building on Peterbilt or something? Everybody kind of turned on them now or something or another. Olive's saying, it wouldn't be fair for me to charge by the hour. Can't keep up that kind of pace usually. Depends on what I'm doing, I guess. Some things I'm slow as sin. Like I feel like if I hadn't had to paint all the parts for this 350, if I would have just thrown it together, I probably would have already finished the project. But I spent so long, painting and making things pretty. Nathan's Mopar Garage is out. He's saying later everyone have to be at work at 8 hours. Well, thanks so much for staying, Nathan. Always glad to have you in the chat, man. Thanks always, and have a good week. Check your fluids, brother. At 66 is saying, I went to Home Depot. I see too many Home Depot commercials. Blue Store rules. Blue Store actually sells high temp Permatex thread sealer. Orange Store doesn't. They got the 542. Or no, the 542 is Loctite. The Permatex is, I forget. Stoic Steel saying, find a truck shop and tell them you want to do air brakes and suspension work, Ari. No one likes those jobs, so they'll probably hire you. Again, I'm pretty indifferent. You know what I mean? I'm more worried about things being over my head. I don't want to apply for a job I'm not qualified for. But if it's something I know how to do or can wrap my head around, it doesn't matter if it's hard work. Within reason. I don't really feel like digging ditches anymore. Jack Stands and Cinder Blocks is saying the crew cab is kind of rough still, but documenting the repairs on a poor purchase seems to work on YouTube. Hey, of course, man. Those trucks, some of them just didn't age well. I feel like those square bodies were, I mean, like sheet metal wise and stuff. The hoods will split and whatnot, and they'll rust up by the above the grill. But it's hit or miss, I guess. Buff Del Campo saying, I'm looking at the radar. Maybe it's heading out. Maybe it's coming our way, Middle Tennessee. Buff, do you guys need any slant six parts? I got some stuff laying around that I don't know what I'm going to do with. Hubie's Garage is saying, my father-in-law is a Peterbilt guy to the end. He hauled logs for 45 years and owned two of them. That's badass. GTI Warrior saying, I don't know about any outsourcing. Kenworths and Peterbilts are made in Ohio, Washington, Canada, and Mexico. Bad 66 is saying 80672 is a part number. There we go. Barrow's Garage is saying, and air brakes are ultra simple. A monkey could do them. Monkeys have been to space and stuff, man. Come on, don't diss monkeys like that. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to learn. Olive's saying, usually painting stuff doesn't use up the same energy as other things, so I'll often take the time. I hate it. My mind is just like, get it done. Why isn't it already painted? I want to assemble it. Painting's stupid. Assembling good. Brian saying, been in your shoes before, Ari? Auto Side, another restoration shop I worked at in Middle Chicago. Went back to diesels. Wherever the money's at, right? Buff Del Campo saying, just a minute. Yelling at nice. Yeah, Buff, I got some pistons, I got a clutch, I've got a lot of randomness, but Olive saying, well, don't sell yourself short on getting up to speed if you learn well, Ari. A lot of people get paid what they Olive, I can't read that one. I think it's paid what they claim they can. Oh, can't. A lot of people can't do what they claim they do anyway. Yeah, pretty much. I just don't want to be that guy. Brian saying, yes, Barrows still details, though, to pay attention to air brakes have to pass DOT inspection. GTI Warrior saying, Ari, most truck dealers will hire you as an apprentice as is. You'll probably start with a lot of oil change services to get familiar with the trucks. You know, that's exactly what I was looking at, Chris. I saw a couple positions online, and one of them, you know, required more experience than I had, but they also had like a lube tech a position which paid really well. You know, so it was, you know, it's one of those things where it's like can't turn my nose up at that kind of stuff. But no, I mean, I feel like I could probably get in there. I have some good tools and everything else. Cat, shut it. Cat, I will sell you to the Thai restaurant down the street. I Anyway, Buff Del Campo's asking, what slant parts do you have? But Buff, I got some pistons. I've got a single barrel intake. I've got uh, a clutch. I've got a few things. I don't know if it's anything really of consequence, but I just feel obligated to ask because you guys are building one. Ah, yeah, Zero saying the space monkey was a communist. Dang. Buff, I actually do have linkage in a kickdown for a Super Six, thanks to Max Wedge Dick Dastardly. He actually sent that to me about a year ago now. Actually, Buff, if I'm not mistaken, Mopar Man had a few copies of that same linkage made because he had to find it himself, and he went to a machinist and had a couple made. So if you need the Super Six linkage, I'm pretty sure Mopar Man 1978 may have it. You dumb cat. God. He's a good cat. I shouldn't be mean to him. Olive saying a lot of people pad their resume. Yeah, my resume is so like, eh, you know, I mean, what he's like, oh yeah, you're a security, 10 years experience in security, huh? You're really good at standing there. Hubie's Garage is saying my '80s Chevy Crew Cab square body rusted quickly. They switched to water-based primer in those days, and the paints didn't adhere. GTI Warrior saying, good pay and a foot in the door. Sounds like a good deal. Yeah, pretty much, man. All the same. So the expectations may not be that high. Hubie saying, don't bring him here. Hubie, you need another cat. Like, you definitely need another cat, man. Jack Stands in Cinder Blocks is saying, my square body may have been used to push the snowplow that salted the roads. Oh, geez. I haven't looked that closely, Jack Stands. I seen the logo and I've seen like a glance of the truck, and I just liked it because it was a Chevy truck. So Paint Namer saying, listen to the cat. Sounds like Timmy fell into the well. There's a fire at the old mill. Tavo Garage is in the chat. Howdy, Tavo. How are you? Chris Greenaway's in the chat as well, saying, how are you, Ari? Onwards and upwards, my amigo. Yeah, Chris, not too bad, man. How are you? How's the formula? How's it going? Jack Stands in Cinder Blocks is saying, the grease and dirt was holding it together. I made the mistake of washing it. Dave Lewis is saying, the electric power company's OTJ training for linemen pay great for linemen great pay. Yes. Yes. That's a good suggestion, Dave. Hubie also suggested that, and you guys are that's not really a bad idea. Again, I might zap myself. I'm pretty dumb, but Bad 66 is saying I need an A833 4-speed for with the Chevy bell housing or for the Mopar. Bad 66. Tabo Garage is saying be kind to the mobile mousetrap. You'd be saying, I need another cat like I need another cast iron power glide. Brian saying, always show confidence. Yeah, of course. I mean, again, it's not like a lack of confidence. It's just, I try to be real about it, and I don't want to, I don't want to seem like cocky, especially because, look who's in here. You know what I mean? We got machinists, we got lifelong mechanics, we got pipe fitters, we've got, you know what I mean? It's like, I'd probably be, it's good to be modest around you guys. You guys have got, more experience than I'll probably ever gain. Bad 66 is saying, all right, what's your opinion on the 70C60 long wheelbase with a 427 tall deck? Bad 66, I don't have a huge opinion. I've never dealt with one. I've seen some videos of them, but I'm pretty much unenlightened, man. Bad 66 is saying small block Mopar 360. Nice. Tabo Garage is saying unemployed parts interpreters. Dave Lewis is saying we didn't learn it overnight. That's for sure. With Teflon pages away, GM sealed Vortec 350 deadbolts. I like Permatex aviation gasket cement sealer better. Either okay. You talking about the brown one B&R, the airplane glue? That works as a thread sealer? Chris Greenway saying, well, doing good now, although I'm calling a guy in Edmonton about another dream car, but it's roachy, needs rear quarter bottoms. Yeah, man. Buff Del Campo saying, everyone that works around the shop becomes a specialist at something, and that's worth something. Yeah, that was kind of funny. That was kind of my niche at the shop, was just the antique cars. If they came in original, no one else knew how to deal with them. So it was kind of a niche for me, but obviously those cars are not few and far between, but my boss wanting to take on work like that was kind of rare, so he wants a bigger paycheck. Jack Stands in Cinder Blocks is saying, Tavo Garage, nice to see videos from the other side of the planet. You got a new subscriber. Nice. Yeah, Brian saying aviation gasket cement. That's the airplane glue. Airplane glue. Yeah, I like that stuff. I use that to stick on the the cork gaskets to valve covers. I'll stick the gasket to the valve cover with that, and then I'll use grease on the bottom side. Chris Greenway saying, don't forget the factory workers. We're all blue collar here and need to hide our hands in our suit pockets. Don't need to hide our hands in our suit pockets. Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. I've been getting it lately. These things are messed. These are definitely standing around hands, huh, guys? You can tell I was definitely hanging out on my phone all day. I think this one's even more messed up. I got a good one on that knuckle. Ruby's Garage is saying, bad 66. Hey, I was going to put a small block Chevy in a 57 T-Bird. My buddy had a 55 Chevy Gasser with a Ford in it. Nice. The Ford. Bad 66 is saying, I use that method too, Ari, on valve covers. Yeah, just some grease on the bottom. Buff Del Campo is saying, how do you get the brown stuff off the hands? I think it dilutes with alcohol. Denatured alcohol will clean it. Oh, you're talking about the brown stuff on my hands? This might be permanent. This is sometimes if I'll scrub and scrub and it won't go away. There's a gunsmith on YouTube, Mark Novak, and he suggests like if you got a formal event or something you need to go to, you can soak your hands in peroxide, and that'll get rid of some of the staining. But I think this is probably staying for a while. GTR Warrior saying those hands clearly spent more time with a coffee cup and a clipboard than anything else. Yes. Chris Greenway saying, Ari now also talking to a 72 Gran Torino owner, but it was a vinyl top Canadian car. But I'm probably going to pass unless he comes down. That's a cool car still. Stoic Steel saying, typical standing around hands. Yep, softy. At Zero saying, dude I work with, half worthless. When he says, I'm going to take my break after sitting for hours on his phone, dude, what all that before the break? Preparing for the break? It's a pre-break break, at Zero. Pre-break break. Bad 66 is saying I use purple power or lava soap. Lava works well. Maybe if you had some lava or something. Again, guys, really, you got to make sure to have your pink grapefruit sparkling water. Brian M saying it stinks that you can't buy denatured alcohol in Cali anymore. Really? I haven't even looked. Stoic still uses Gojo. I mean, in reality, the best way to clean your hands would be Lazy A-Hole Ranch Mechanics soap. But I don't know if Allie's been making it, so I don't want to throw it out there. I don't want to make you guys search for it if she hasn't made any in a while. Buff Del Campo saying, no, I meant the aviation stuff. I have alcohol and aviation gasket sealer. Maybe I'll start using it. Yeah, it seems to wipe off well. It doesn't really dilute well with other solvents. That's what I found at least. I tried mineral spirits, I think. It didn't work as well. But the alcohol seemed to thin it out. Because I had a small container of it spill in my toolbox, and that's how I cleaned it all out. Olive saying helps to moisturize before you start working. Makes your skin suck up less grime. Yeah. Chris Greenaway saying undercoating is great on skin and hair. I have spots for a week. Scrubbing pad green with the green pad on the sponge will absolutely abuse your skin. Ad Zero is saying, in case y'all didn't know, Brother Ari, he sparkles. Brian M saying, I kid you not, Brother Ari, it's been a couple of years since you were able to buy it. That's screwed up. How are people shellacking out there without their denatured alcohol? Hubie saying, we had a guy at work who used lava bars as facial soap. You told me about that, Hubie. Guy must have been a masochist or something, man. That sounds painful. Brian saying bad 66 Chevelle. The 427 tall deck big block Chevy generation Roman numeral I can't read. Most had oval port heads similar to the desired 781 oval ports, 4-bolt mains on 5, forged crank, and forged rods. Bad 66 is saying all you need working on 283s is a 7/16 half, 9/16 5/8. Yeah, a basic set of wrenches. Isn't it nice? You know what I don't understand though? Why did GM use so many stupid little 11/32 nuts? Like just use the 3/8. Why? Why 11/32? Don't make me switch my socket. Stop. Why? Pad 66 wants the 427 tall deck to put in an F-150. Damn. Buff Del Campo saying I use Simple Green to clean my hands unless it's rough stuff like epoxy or some adhesives. Then I use the correct solvent, then Simple Green. Simple Green's good, Buff. When I used to work in the warehouse, there was a guy who would always wear shorts. He refused to wear pants, but he had this ritual of like spraying down his legs with Simple Green. It's natural. Hey, we got some BNSF out there. Let's see if it'll actually make this place shake. A little tiny bit. They're always lighter going down south. When they come back from Mexico, they're a lot heavier. GTI Warrior is saying, I use lava soap when we go on field problems in the Army. Great for scrubbing off all the dirt and sand. Yeah, definitely. You need that, some kind of abrasive in there. Well, they started doing that, like all the fancy, like the Dr. Squatch soap and stuff. They've got like oats in them and little like sand and stuff. They've got some kind of grit. Scotch. Buff Del Campo saying 11/32 is number 8 screws. Yeah, exactly. BB's Garage is saying, I thought that was engine 7. No, not right now, though. Hopefully they're getting some rest, Hubie. Tabo Garage is saying, is that anything like Soylent Green? That's what I always, whenever I pass that like vegan aisle with all the weird pastes and stuff they eat that are made out of weird things, I'm like, it's people! Vegans. They're very vague about what they eat. Yeah, definitely people. Olive saying, Fast Orange Goop seems to work good. Yes, it does. The Zepp one, the cheap Walmart one, works okay. Not as well, depending on what you're dealing with. Yeah, that's zero. That's exactly what I was saying. Lava soap always reminds. Oh, there you go, Hubie. There's engine 7. Spoke too soon. Yeah, as you're saying, lava always reminds me of Pulp Fiction. Gotta wash your hands. Maybe if you had some lava. Brake clean works great as a hand cleaner. GTI Warrior saying doubles as a cut finger finder. Yeah, I had to do that yesterday because I popped that going down out there because I popped that transmission into the truck, the old 3-speed, and it was dirty as sin. And I was wrestling it because I tried 2 different throwout bearings, so my hands were just messed up. Buff Del Campo saying, number 8 hardware was all over aircraft. I have so much 11/32 stuff. Wrenches, sockets, nut drivers. Yeah, Buff, I have a few now, thankfully, but I don't know why it annoys me so much. It's like and then my eyes see 3/8, and then it's like, I'm like, my mind is denying. It's like, no, it's 11/32. It's like, no, it's 3/8. And then it's more my stupidity than any actual issue. Ryan M. saying, I accidentally tried a plant-based sirloin hamburger patty at Costco. It was nasty. No plant-based. I'll eat plant, but not plant-based. Bad 66 is saying, I'd love to throw a tall deck and a 59 Chevy. Spencer's drink reviews and chugs in the chat. Howdy, Spencer. How are you, man? Stoic Steel saying, it's tough keeping the vegans away from lawn clippings. Yes. Soylent Green. Yeah, that vegan food. You know, I just don't understand. It's like certain things. It's like, why would you like if you're disgusted by animal products, why would you mimic all of them? Like they have that cashew yogurt, and I tasted it. I tasted it, and it was like whoever invented this cashew yogurt had obviously never tasted vomit before. Yeah, Hubie saying there goes engine 7. That's for sure. They got something going on there. Chris Greenaway saying nothing will be better than Verisol paint thinner and wash thoroughly. Yeah, the paint thinner works. You have to like go to a specific hardware store out here to get like real mineral spirits, but you can still get them. Spencer's doing good. How about me? I'm doing great, Spencer. I'm enjoying speaking with everybody. It's been a great live stream, and you'd be saying engine 7's going to a traffic collision nearby. Olive saying dandelion greens are good if you get them at the right time. Probably not off your lawn. Yeah, I bet you could probably toss up a salad or something. That'd be good. Olive, no, he's got spidey senses. He just knows. See that's all. That's what's funny to me too. Is I'm just so not opposed to vegetables or greenery or any of that. It's when you're mimicking something. I don't like faux anything. Bad 66 is saying, I'll trade my three 283s for a 427 tall deck. Most amazing motor ever built. Bulletproof 4-bolt main. Got to be a real 427 tall deck, though. One was 366. Sadly, didn't buy it. Chris Greenaway saying, it's like Bud Light and Miller Light. It's like, come on, grow a set and have the heavier beer. You only live once. That imitation crab, which is artificial flavored. Oh, the imitation crab's got its place, though. You know what I mean? You got so used to it. You be saying, "Oh no, it's a OCFA website." I worked at Station 7, and I worked at Station 7 in the past. Yeah, Hubie worked all around here, and it's that's pretty cool to me. You know, the guy was working local and helping folks and everything else, and Lord knows, you know what I mean. If I would have got my head stuck in something or set something on fire with fireworks, Hubie might have come to bail me out. GTI Warrior saying, "Don't hate on imitation crab. It's tasty and I'm cheap." It is good. I like imitation crab. You know, especially just cheap sushi rolls and stuff. I like that kind of stuff. At Zero saying he kept us safe all over the place where I lived. Actually, yeah, everywhere, everywhere, all over the county, as long as I was alive. I was alive. I think I still am alive. Phrasing. Am I still alive? Is this like Beetlejuice? Shit. Anyway. Chris Green was saying he'd be doing all the work, carrying people out of the train wrecks, and now helping Ari's plunders now. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's very modest about it. He's too used to saving folks. That zero saying, yep, them whitefish is good, all glued together and died. Yeah, I don't know. That's it. What did he say? Bad. I want to do bad 66. He's saying I want a dual quad 427. I just want a 454. I just a 454 and I'll be good. You know, stockish. Could have the big Q jet. I just round valve covers. I just want a 454. Bad 66 is saying I have a 454 4-bolt main. Badass, man. You got some great stuff over there, brother. See, it's like you're talking it down because you're working outside, but you got great stuff, man, and you're constantly working on it, and it's like what else can you ask for? What matters is the results anyway. Ad Zero saying Hubie Silverado Canyon live there also. Buff Del Campo saying the round valve covers look great. Yeah, I love them. Painted or chrome, I love the round valve covers. Short, funky, I love them. At 66 is saying I wheeled the 454 through the woods on a sketchy wagon. That sounds rad, man. That's dedication. See, you got to admire that kind of dedication. Hubie's Garage is saying buy an old boat with a 454 in it. Some out there for under $1,000. Now we're talking. See, Hubie, if I just had like a little lot or something, even if it was out in the Inland Empire or something, just some sad lot where I can put things, you know what I mean? Could do stuff like that. Chris Greenaway is saying only 454 I want is in a 71 Monte Carlo. The Shroud. Oh man. Oh, Chris, you really like those sleek cars like that. I love them, don't get me wrong, but the cars like that are too damn cool for me. Brian saying that the 366 tall deck big block Chevy guys have built on YouTube with good results in square bodies. Yeah, that's a lot of the like pretty much the only place I see this kind of stuff because I mean, you know, around here people aren't working on vintage HD trucks and stuff, and if they are, they're turning them into midlife crises. So, you know, it's not something you see a lot. Bad 66 is saying the 454 is for my 59 Biscuit with a 3-speed. That's going to be a nice car. Brian's saying that the 366 tall deck is supposed to be great with a turbocharger. Ultra thick cylinder walls. 400 to 500 thousandths thick. 4-bolt mains on all 5 also. Buff Del Campo saying I had a 72 Monte Carlo. I wish I hadn't sold it. See, Buff, you could wield a car like that. Like that's too cool of a car for me. Tabo Garage is saying all those cool engines. I feel so irrelevant. I just have a shed full of Aussie Mopar Hemi 6 engines. Oh yeah, just a shed full of engines that none of us get to even touch over here. That Hemi 6 is like there's like lore around it. You know what I mean? I mean, people have been talking about it on Tony's channel for the better part of 4 years, you know what I mean? And still no one's come up with one. Those things are awesome, Tavo. Bad 66 is saying, I know people think the 3-speed is going to break. Yeah, you're going to have to baby that thing. You're going to have to be like grandpa with the clutch. Chris Greenaway saying the market don't think they're sleek, just want to be Chevelles with same with my Montego, want to be Mach 1, but bigger. Those early 70s cars are so cool though, man. Hubie's Garage is talking about Silverado Canyon. He's saying, yeah, at zero. Yep, lived there for 4 years. How, as and was a volunteer fireman at Station 14 for 2 years while working as a full-time firefighter in Silverado at Station 15 down the road. Good times. At Zero's asking if I noticed the giant bounce house off of El Toro, a company called Funbox. Huge flags of Funbox.com. Either the nicest folks ever or the funniest folks who own a small business. Yeah, I didn't know it was called Funbox. I didn't see that. Bad 66 wants to do dual quads on the 454 too. Bad 66, we had this customer who would come through. I don't know if I did any videos of a black C10 at all. It's a 70 or 72. He had a 61 Impala and it had a 454 with dual quads on it. And I loved that car. He never brought it in for work, which kind of bummed. Actually, it didn't bum me out because Ray didn't get to get his filthy fingers into it, but that was a nice car, man. I saw a dual quad intake online for a 350 too. I thought that would be a slick one if I ever got crazy with my 350. Brian saying, bad 66 Chevelle. I'm daily driving a 1997 C2500 454 Gen 6. This has been awesome fun and ultra reliable. At Zero's thanking Hubie for his dedication to keeping folks safe around here. Yeah, Olive's saying Tabo Garage. Well, like everyone here over here wants to try one of those. Yeah, the Hemi 6. Because I mean, we got Slant 6 and we've got AMC 232, but we don't have Hemi 6. Chris Greenway saying, I call them gentlemen's muscle cars. In my opinion, the Buicks and Old started in 1965 to 67 to 70. The 70, the Fury GT came out, the Chrysler 300, then the Monte Carlo. And then Ford responded with the Montego GT. I mean, technically, weren't they all copying the Thunderbird anyway, though? As you're saying, dude, I see it every Friday. Just can't stop laughing. Like, it's worth it. Just to ask and meet these folks. So do y'all know that, like, Funbox can be construed? Hubie's Garage is saying, I wish I had room for a boat. Would buy a 70s day cruiser with a 454 Berkeley jet. Actually keeping an eye out for a 20-foot Spectre project right now. I'd be stoked to see it. I know if you got it, it'll be a serious machine, Hubie. Bad 66 is saying, what CFM carb should I use for appearance reasons on the 454? Stick RV 454. Wouldn't it? I mean, most people run a couple 450s, right? A couple little Hollies. Yeah, Brian, it's right where that Mission Viejo, or yeah, it was the Mission Viejo Mall or thing, or Laguna Hills Mall. That thing's completely torn down. They got rid of it, the old Sears building and everything. It's kind of sad, honestly. Westminster Mall's following suit. I just went in there and even the Dairy Queen's gone. Olive's saying, I love boats, but they aren't much fun without navigable water. Like here. Olive, you got to get a fan boat. Like Elvis. Dave Lewis is saying, I'm putting an LS3 / 6-speed into my 69 Camaro RS E20. Excuse me, geez. Too much bubble water. Saying, I know the guy who bought the car new. The original 302 blew up in 73. That's going to be a really great rig, Dave. We were just, well, I mean, it'll probably be like 5 years, and the project will probably get pulled before it's finished. But we were about to put a 427 and a T56 into a Mustang. That was going to be a fun one. Brian's saying, bad 66, like a 750 CFM carburetor is a good choice. Stock camshaft in a 454, like 195 at 50 to about 220 at 50. Dual quads on 454. Holly double pumpers too much. I mean, that's what a lot of people run, right? They run two, are they 4150s? I lose track. My poor brain. Chris Greenaway is saying, a 69 to 70 Fury GT painted black, white interior with pinstripes on the body lines. Styling, profiling, wheeling, dealing, son of a gun. Nice. Yeah, Brian, you were saying you worked right across the freeway, right? That was your Jack in the Box by the Petco, huh? Now, Brian, my biggest question is, did you buy the bird from the Petco? Brian Brian saying as camshaft duration increases, you are increasing volumetric efficiency of like a 454, about 230 at 50,000 and 800, 900 CFM should be used. Dual quad kind of guy, he's saying. Brian, you did buy the bird there, really? Chris Greeno is saying poor Ric Flair, poor Ric Flair impression. I can't do Ric Flair, Chris. I can only do Iron Sheik. I almost, when I had the beard thing going after the face issue, I almost kept the mustache and went Iron Sheik. I really did it. We actually just lost the Iron Sheik in June. In a moment of silence for the Iron Sheik. Number one. All right. Ad Zero saying camel clutch. Anyone? Yeah, no, I think if I ever build a drag car, I'm gonna call it the camel clutch. Brian said no, the parrot. No, we bought him at the Magnolia Bird Farm in Riverside. Nice. Ad Zero saying, Brother Ari, can we now refer to your new clutch, the camel clutch? Yeah, Ad Zero hooked me up. He works at a parts wholesaler, and he got me a nice luck clutch kit and a flywheel for just a great price. And it was kind of cool. Just drove down the street, got to see him on a work day. Ad Zero, I was pissed that day too. You could tell. I came in there, and like I think the first thing I said to him, I was like, dude, my boss is such a moron. You know what I mean? So it's kind of funny, but yeah, Ad Zero works for Hanson. At Zero, Hubie's going to need you for some Timken bearings. He's got to get some Timkens for his trailer, and he was going to go through Napa, I think, but I know that you deliver to Napa. So. Bad 66 is saying YouTube wasn't letting folks talk about double humps earlier on a previous live. I don't know why. Camel humps. Needless to say, I wanted camel hump heads. But yeah, Hubie, Ad Zero can definitely get you. The warehouse is kind of, it's like right across the street from Angel Stadium. But yeah, he's got all the, and that was something too. Is when I first started working at the shop, At Zero sent someone from his work to come by the shop and offer us the service and everything, and my boss was just like, huh? Oh no, you know what I mean? And then proceeded to waste his money everywhere else instead of buying things wholesale. So. Buff Del Campo saying, all right, I just sent you some pictures of my 67 Cougar with a small block Chevy. Buff, that sounds badass. I check that out. I can't pop off the light, but I'll check that out, man. That's cool. Bad 66 is saying they actually started repopping double humps now, but they're aluminum. That would be worth checking out. That's pretty cool. I forget what the significance is. I know they got like a 64cc chamber or something like that, but I forget what made them flow so much. Chris Greenaway saying, Ari, I thought you were honestly canned for your you're a dumbass vid. Then you did the cherry with a 427 on an inline six. I thought you were off then. That was so funny. He was so pissed that my engine fit well, like on that pallet, and it looked clean. He was like, I need that. And even this guy's so petty that he's like, is that my piece of chain on the engine? Buff Del Campo saying 202 intakes. That's right. 202 intakes, the 64cc chambers, and those things roar. My buddy had a 327 with him, and that thing would just smoke my buddy's built up 350. My other buddy's built up 350. Yeah, the camel hump pads are no joke. I think The 882s I have are real stock. I think they're 194 valves and 74 cc chambers, but they're good. They're a good stock replacement, I feel like. Chris Greenaway is saying, but then I was happier with what happened. Yeah, I the accordion. Oh man, the accordion. Yeah, it's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard to take that seriously. That's something I said to the guys at the shop too. I'm like, because they were saying, like, why, why don't you try to talk to Ray, blah blah blah, and I'm like, seriously? I'm like, at this point, I'm like, think about for my lady. Think about how she feels. Like she's getting calls in the middle of the evening after working all day. She's getting calls like, "Hey, I'm serious right now. I'm not joking. A drone just flew into my face." Or calls like, "Hey, I need some help getting my stuff because I just got fired over a toy accordion." You know what I mean? Like just based off of that, like that's causing her undue stress. That's stupidity she shouldn't have to experience. Me, I can deal with it, but her, no, I don't want her to deal with it. Olive saying, wondering if you still got the parts you need for the truck. Come to think of it, Olive, I did. I did. I have three double humps, 461s. Is 462s better? I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that. Bad 66. I had a chart with them. That was the only way I knew. Phoebe's Ground is saying the aluminum camel humps at Speedway are Speedway. I may get a new pair for the Del Rey at half off. The trick flows and AFRs flow better though. That'd be a cool set for the Del Rey, though. Had zero saying Hubie's. I've been through maybe 4 sets of national bearings. Went to Timken, still rolling. Bearing races were wearing out. Crap from national. Bad 66 is saying something about 462s versus 461s have a different chamber, I think. Could be. Like I said, I don't remember offhand. I had a list for this. Chris Greenaway saying, how do you make a ridiculous thing even more ridiculous? First Darth 440, and then you're a dumbass, and then an idiot who thinks something double the size to fit in a custom pallet, but it what? Yeah, no. The best part was instead of just putting that engine on a stand or setting it on a normal pallet or just setting it on a couple blocks, they sat it down on top of those two vertical boards. So this wide oil pan is sat up on there, and the engine's pitched up 3 feet in the air and ratchet strapped to this pallet. This is what I mean by saying I work with geniuses. Like I may not be the most experienced, but damn, do those guys make me feel like it. GTI Warrior saying Timken is all I use in HD trucks. That makes sense. You don't want the crap to fail. Bad 66 is saying anyone willing to ship double humps to Virginia? Serious here. Chris Greenaway saying the toy accordion that broke the camel's back. Adzero saying, well, I said it before. Can't get an 11-year-old Chinese kid to give a shit. He got his own problems. Bills to pay, communism. He don't care about my dart. Hubie's Garage is saying, my excavator in Montana says the Chinese trailer bearings aren't bad these days, but went to 6 Robles and a guy bought out all their all their stock the day before I got there. They like USA Timkins. Yeah, of course. It's like, oh, the Chinese aren't bad. I mean, maybe for light use, you know what I mean? Maybe, you know what I mean? If you're not really depending on whatever you're putting them in, sure. But even then, it's like, why are you playing around with, components like that? Just buy the good stuff, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Stuff like that bothers me. I got some Chinese wheel bearings for the front of the truck, but you know, I I think that's because the kind of ball bearings. I don't even know if Timken makes bearings that would fit my truck. And if they do, I'm not smart enough to figure out how to find the proper size. At Zero saying, Hubies, we actually have a bearing shop around the corner from my work. Also, Eureka Bearing in HB. BNR saying, Bad 66, have to check for valve spring coil bind clearances. Chris Greenway saying, I'm sorry, that's the same way I got fired at my first job at high school. Chick blamed me for doing dude thing of staring when she was through so many hands. I seen her turn to Ray Charles. If I seen her, I turn to Ray Charles. Oh, geez. At 66, I'm glad I used the Vortex on my C10. Everybody, and I mean everybody with, a lot of people are very experienced with this stuff. Everybody suggested the Vortex heads to me, but they were a little too expensive for me. I got both of those 882s done for about what I would have spent on one Vortex head. GTI Warrior is saying, all right, any quality bearing shop should be able to cross-reference the bearings you have to something quality. Well, that's a thought. Just pop them over there and then return the Chinese bearings. I like that. Bad 66 is saying, I still prefer double humps and always will. I like, I mean, any of that old stock stuff is really, I mean, it's kind of time honored. It's tried and true. So it's hard to kind of 882s are cheaper because they have factory hardened exhaust seats. Yeah, they're I mean they're just good heads. They were a lot better than the 6.2. They're the same specs, but they're a lot better than the 624s I had on there. Hubie saved me on that one again. I was sitting there porting and messing with those 624s, and he's like, hold on, are you available for a phone call? And he educated me, so here we are. Stoic Steel saying HD 4x4 pickup front wheel bearings and hubs have got very expensive the last few years, $1,000 or more. I believe it. All the HD stuff it's pretty significant. Plus, you got to imagine how many people started buying that stuff to turn into a midlife crisis instead of using it for work. Hubie's Garage is saying that my kid's 350 was used as Clay Smith's dyno mule. Steve Brule at West Tech Dyno didn't even test the camel humps. Oh, jeez. Sorry, this thing's flowing too fast for me. Didn't even test the camel humps, saying the trick flow casting and AFR CNC heads would flow better. Buff Del Campo saying, tell us about the parts in your small block. I mean, Buff, there's not much to it. It's an 84 350. It's a Mexican block. The whole short block is stock. I really didn't change anything there. When I was disassembling the engine, I felt I don't even know if I did for sure, but I felt as if I mismatched the lifters. So I do have new lifters in right now. I've changed the heads to the 882 heads. I've got that Offenhauser dual port intake, and I'm gonna have I got a Quadrajet that I'm gonna throw on there, nice 650. But it's pretty much just a stock 350 Buff. There's nothing crazy about it yet. I would really like. I'd like to go crazy on it someday. It's a 4-bolt main block. It could be gone through, but my budget and everything kind of just allowed me to throw it together as is. And I was going back and forth. I bought that 750 Holly double pumper vacuum secondary double pumper, but it turned out being a little too much carb for just a stock 350. And then I got that Offenhauser intake, which is meant for a spread bore. It's a Q-jet intake, so Yeah, it's nothing crazy there. Jesus, cat. Chris Greenway said, I'm going to make some bad financial decisions and call this rusted vinyl top, no bottom quarter interior car to have my dream car for 5,000 with 30,000 worth instead of buying a $35,000 finished product. Oh, $5,000 car with $30,000 of work it needs instead of buying a $35,000 finished product. Sounds about right. Bad 66 is saying it's possible to get 11 to 1 compression on 882s if you run a dome piston and zero deck the block, shave the 882s. That would be cool. At zero saying getting to work V8 is always good. Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean? My only thought was like, I kind of wanted to buy a cam, and then I'm like, well, I want to get like a cam. You know what I mean? Like, I want to go nuts on this thing, and I can't. So it's like, there was no, I felt like finding a middle ground would have still been kind of a half measure. So I left it as is. But I don't know. It's one of those things. It's a stock 350 is still going to pretty much, almost triple the power that I had in that six cylinder. So I feel like it's a pretty solid upgrade. Upgrade. I don't know. I don't like talking about the six cylinder like Stoic Steel saying I ride a single cylinder to work every day. It's a smart way, man. Save some ducats. Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely a work truck, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of keep it with a work truck with a little bit of classic flair. That's as much as I can do really right now. Chris, you are apostrophe. Bad 66 is saying I just worry with a thinner head gasket it could let go easier. Just spit it, damn. At zero say my 318 with BBD has over 90,000 on it and just keeps up with traffic up to 110. I, if you drove slower, you might not have a cracked drum. Chris Greenaway is saying, I'm sorry, Ari, it was too catchy, Ari, how I feel. Isn't that a great song? I forget what the guy's name is, but it's a You're a Dumbass song. I heard it on a short, and it just reminded me so much of Ray that I held on to it for the perfect time. Oh, there you go. Hubie's saying, at zero, I need number 25, 580 for each, and number 15123 for each. I also need 25520 for each, and 15245 for each. Those are the inner outer bearings and the races. Email me later. Ad zero saying, nope, can't. Cruising actually sucks. Well, I mean, it's good that it's like not a four-door slant six car. It's definitely meant to go fast. Fucking guy, man. No, I'm just kidding. No, Ad zero makes that thing fly. It's a quick little car. I'm just messing with you, Chris. I'm trying to be petty. Hubie's Garage, I'm sorry, Bad 66 is saying, Hubie's Garage, I replaced the Bel Air parking cables on Walters 57 Bel Air, and they were a pain to get the cable brackets unbolted from the firewall. At zero saying, Hubie sent that list to Brother Ari, no worry. Yeah, I can get it to him, Hubie. I can go pick him up for you, man. Make some, make some make some use of myself. Bad 66 is saying I ended up drilling the bolts out. Some of that Tri 5 stuff's a little funky. It's kind of not the easiest unless you know exactly what you're doing. Yeah, you can get all kinds of good stuff over there, and it'll it's a good way to save a few bucks, that's for sure. And it's not like you're just getting it before it gets to Napa. That's all you're doing. Oh, so you okay there, Chris? You gotta do it more Canadian, all of it. You okay there, bud? I had a guy pull out of a driveway like right in front of me the other day. And I wasn't upset really. I saw it coming, I guess. Not really, but I was able to anticipate it. And he had his window down. I drive by and I'm like, great timing there, bud. He starts honking and throwing his hands out the window and stuff. I was just laughing driving down the street. I'm like, oh my God, people are great out here. Bad 66 is saying I need to adjust this fender to fit. It won't side back far enough. Too close to the gap between the cowl panel fender. Shave it. He Hubie says Napa sells SKF bearings, not Timken. The Hubie that Napa, the big one, I don't know if that's a hub or what. The big Napa in Santa Ana, they sell Timken bearings. Yeah, no, that zero is saying it's just I came from sales. Like I walked straight in there. It's a wholesale office. I'm sorry, let me fix my hat here. It's a wholesale office. I walked right in there, picked up my parts, and it was easy enough. You know what's funny, Chris, is like people love that blacked out look so much. People love that blacked out look so much. The owner of that Cuda called us and said that he had won a couple awards at car shows, and of course Ray had gone to taking complete credit for this. And I was wondering to myself, I'm like, did he even have the hood up? I'm just kidding. Ad Zero saying 515 First Street. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ad Zero delivers. You told me that. That was when I asked you to send someone through the shop, was because my the guy was wasting money on single. Anyway. Bad 66 is saying, Hubies, can you make a video of fender to cowl panel gaps and door to quarter panel body gaps? Walter's car is a mess. Wanted a reference. That's one thing I really suck at. Fitment, any actual like car building stuff is just a full headache for me. You know what I mean? Chris Greenaway saying I should be a TV writer, follow Ray for 15 years, have a sitcom. No way, Chris. If you recorded everything you saw, it'd be put away for embezzlement before you could make a dime. Ad Zero saying we are a 66-year-old parts distributor. NGK also, Denso, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and I always run Autolights. I got a set of Autolights for the 350 Autolight 26s because the 882s take the tapered plugs. You'd be saying Timken has a plant in Mexico. Hubie, I'm kind of indifferent about that. I really like parts made in Mexico. I feel like a lot of the 6-cylinder parts I used to get that were made in Mexico held up really well. I mean, even nowadays, it's like my Carhartt jacket's made in Mexico, so it's like I don't. I mean, Hubie, it's like an hour and a half away from here. At Zero saying we got them auto lights. Yeah, yeah. I actually, you guys will probably laugh at this, but I actually kept the Autolite 26s that I took out of the 302 for that Bronco just to save a couple bucks. They're perfectly fine. Stoic Steel saying HD Ram pickups made in Mexico. And those things are pretty dang tough until they start throwing codes. No. They had a couple recalls, I know, but the 5500 that I drove, that truck was amazing. Amazing. I mean, like 10-ton truck that just handles like a passenger car. GTI Warrior saying most Kenworth and Peterbilt parts are made in Mexico. Yeah. Hayes, Gates. Yeah, I'll take Mexico over China any day of the week. That's for sure. Would I prefer made in USA? Of course, but I can't. Gotta say, made in Mexico is pretty dang good. Aftermarket Vortex. I got Autolite 605's longer threaded plug. You were saying they don't have gap. You're looking for gap specs. I mean, it's like 45 thousandths if you're running HEI or 35 thousandths if you got points, right? Chris Greenway saying, "Guess I'm not too mean, but at least I can tell I make Ari laugh when he's reading another comment and bursts out laughing." Oh, you're great, Chris. Hubie's Garage is saying Mexico has made some better parts these days, especially when compared to China. Yeah, exactly. That's really my basis of comparison. Is like, so you know what I mean. If I can't find made in USA parts, like I'll take made in Mexico. Bad 66 is saying, Hubie's, I can take my thumb and stay between the fender and cowl. That's how wide the gap is. Won't go any further. Could be a repop fender. Yeah, I'm wondering that's pretty significant. It's not fiberglass, is it? Because what the guys would do, at least for like doors and certain things, if the gap was too large, they would tack on a piece of 1/8 inch welding rod to the door seam or whatever to close the gap. But something like that, I don't know. Stoic Steel is out for the evening. See you later, everyone. Good luck on the job hunt, Ari. Thanks, Stoic Steel. I got to get at her soon. To get this dang truck running, get myself into something better, and I'll be doing all right. But thanks so much for stopping in, man. Appreciate all the feedback and everything, and it's always great having you, brother. Have a great week. Check your fluids. Chris Greenway saying, cynical people are a joy. I'll turn the worst thing to happen to someone and make them laugh about it. Bad 66 is saying, slice in a piece of sheet metal and close the gap up. He doesn't want to paint the car now, though, which makes it hard to work on. Yeah, that sounds kind of gnarly. I'd have to see it, I guess. I mean, that's pretty significant. We had this issue at work because they wanted to get rid of the louvers on the cowl on a C10, and instead of just having the sheet metal work done, they got a fiberglass cowl cover which did not fit. And then they tried to make the fiberglass cowl cover fit, and they put the hood on, and they're like, "Whoa, why do we have a huge, like what was it like? It's like almost It's like a good half inch almost gap. Hubie's Garage is saying, Bad 66, watch my buddy Robert at Half Rods on YouTube. He has recently been gapping the body panels on his cousin's 55 Chevy Bel Air hardtop. Great videos that he teaches. He's a perfectionist. Those were cool videos. I was watching some of them with Hubie. Brian saying, off to bed, Ari. It's almost 12:30 a.m. here. Have to do the school bus diesel mechanic gig in a few hours. Yeah, Brian, get some rest, man. That's important work, brother. Thanks so much for stopping in, as always. Thanks for sharing all the specs and the knowledge and everything, man. I appreciate all the kind words and advice. Have a great week out there. And I don't need to tell you, man, check your fluids. That's funny, Chris. Hubie said the same thing. He thought that, or no, I uploaded the video of the "You're a Dumbass" with Ray, and he's like, "Man, that wasn't a good idea. I thought he was going to tell you have 2 minutes to get out there." And I'm like, "You're right. I'm an idiot, but I'm petty, and I had to." Yeah, heavy equipment or some kind of government work, I guess. Something decent to do with myself. At Zero saying, Brother Ari, hit me up tomorrow. I'm off so I can mess with this drum BS. Yeah, we can go over the storage, man. Get that drum off for you. All right, guys. I'll probably call it for the evening if it's all right with you. It's we're right around 2 hours, 40 minutes, and I feel like that's pretty good. You get myself some rest. So I can get over to Hubie's and finish that dang truck. Dave Lewis is saying on Tri-5s, most all need new body bushings and a square body to the chassis fit the doors first. 3/19 gap. Oh, they need new body bushings and you square the body to the chassis. Fit the doors first at a 3/19 gap. 3/16. I think he meant 3/16. I don't know. I can't tell. I'm pretty sure he meant 3/16. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to speak for you, Dave. You know more than me. But yeah, guys, everybody, thanks so much for stopping in. It was a great conversation. It was a great time. I appreciate all the well wishes, all the advice. And it means the world. Buff Del Campo likes 3 out of 19 too. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody. It was a cool time. I hope everybody has a great week out there. Prosperous. Hope you guys get some done on your projects, everything else. And on to the next thing, I guess. I'm doing my best. So we'll see how it goes. Be safe, guys. Check your fluids. Chris Sanders, I'm closing up for the evening. I'm getting off of here, but I do want to say hello. Welcome. Glad to see you, Chris. Just the same, but also good night. Thanks, everybody. Check your fluids.